meant to shine on happy camper life. We're loving, living, and learning online on happy camper life.
Hey guys, it's Courtney, the host of the My Camp podcast. Welcome back. I'm really excited today. We are actually going international to Venezuela to camp. I'm gonna say it the right way. Iguanas Educación al aire libre, which translates to Iguanas Outdoor Education Center. So I'm really excited to welcome Simon Sambrano. He is not only the director of Iguanas Camp or Iguanas Educación al aire libre, but he is the founder. This is his baby. So I am so excited to welcome Simon. Welcome here. We're live here at the Girls HC. Welcome to my camp. I am so excited to pick your brain and learn all about you and your own camp story and what inspired you to start your own camp. So please, Simon.
Thank you, Courtney. Thank you so much. I'm going to invite you so you can keep practicing that Spanish because I would love to have you here. We'd love to have you for a couple of weeks or a season so you can join us and teach English to our students, to our participants, campers. That would be great. Thank you so much for having us here at your podcast, and we're ready to jump into it.
So tell me what's your camp story? Like, are you originally from Venezuela? Where are you from?
Yeah, I'm from Venezuela. I went to camps dozens of camps when I was a kid. I went to camp here in Venezuela. I also went to camp in the United States. So I knew a lot about camps, but then I had a gap for about 3 or 4 years where I didn't go to any camp. And then I was a counselor when I was studying medicine. I'm a medical doctor, actually. I'm a surgeon. So when I was in medical school, a couple of friends said, hey, that would be great to be in a summer camp. Let's go to the meetings. And I was just following them. A lot of girls, a lot of activities, a lot of fun. I said, yeah, let's do that. And I found my passion there.
So what's the camp culture like in Venezuela as compared to the camp culture here in the United States?
It's big. It's a big culture. Something interesting that happened in Venezuela is that about 25 years ago, government offices and companies, large companies, some of them, big corporations from the United States or Europe, they started to use the camp experience as a fringe benefits for their employees. So what happened is, at the beginning, it was just for the elite. So only, rich people get to go to camps in Venezuela or abroad. But then everybody was able to come to camp, which was fantastic. So that happened around the year 2000, a little bit, maybe 1996, 1997. And then everybody went to camp for about 20 years. So we had since 1996, 97 until 2017, 2018, every kid in the country most kids in the country were able to go to camp. So we had a huge camp culture, not school camps. These were, summer camps. And it was amazing because anybody could go to camp, because if their parents or their father or mother work in a company that has this as a fringe benefit, everybody could go. So that was amazing. And that happened until, as I was saying, 5 or 6 years ago, when the economic crisis hit us. And that's when it stopped. Now it began a little bit this summer. It began a little bit. So we're not going to get back to the numbers we had in 2010, but it's getting better. So there is huge camp culture right now.
Is it mostly like a day camp, or do you do like an overnight?
Both.
Okay.
Both. Yeah, day camps, overnight. Also, we have a tour, like guided tours. So you get to go to 2 or 3 different places in one day, but it's a camp atmosphere with counselors, with games, songs, everybody having fun, but also learning and developing.
So when you were in medical school and you were working at the camp, what were you doing at the camp at the time? Were you working in like the health center, or were you a counselor actually working with the kids?
No, I was a counselor full time. I was with the kids, and fortunately, I got training in an overnight camp. So I got to go my first season, or my first experience as a counselor, was a 3-week commitment with the same kids. So I got to sleep with them, lead them during the day, all the activities. And I used to lead most activities. Only a couple of them that were with the specialists or instructors. So I got a great experience. I had a fantastic opportunity with these kids, with whom some of them I'm still in touch right now. And one of them has a distillery in Cambodia, which is amazing. The first rum distillery in Cambodia. Another one had a great opportunity to work to study in the US in Swarthmore College in Pennsylvania. So he got with a friend of his. And when I was a medical doctor in the jungle, he sent this guy with me. And then he developed, like a social responsibility program. So we brought like 20 or 30 Swarthmore College students in about 7 years. And we got students from Bowdoin College and, like 8 or 9 universities in the United States. So I'm still in contact with my initial campers. And yes, I was a counselor.
And I know that one of the things that inspired you to start your own camping program was, and I'm taking this from quotes, was to understand the connections that participants develop at camping environments. And I really loved that because, that's like universal among all camps, right? Whether you're at a day camp or an overnight, or in Venezuela or in northeastern Pennsylvania, it is that camp culture, that connection between participants. I didn't really go away to camp as a kid. I work at a camp now as an adult, and I bring my kids, but those connections that I make with my friends, and then seeing it, be firsthand from my own children, is like so special. So you wanting to understand this connection was the inspiration behind starting your Iguanas Camp. But I lost my train of thought. So to start the Iguanas Camp, but were you also fulfilling a need in the community? Like, what were those like inspiring things that you were the needs that you were fulfilling to start Iguanas Camp?
Yeah, that's I wanted to make a joke, but I think it's not the right time for a joke. But we began Iguanas. Iguanas Camp is my second camp. I started first one. It was very successful, the first one, but I was in medical school, so I had to kind of close it up. Right. And then my wife, she's a teacher, and she said, "Okay, I'm gonna help you with this idea, only if it's educational." So we developed Iguanas as an outdoor education, more than a camp, but it's still a camp. And we started to develop activities and games and, opportunities for children to find vocations, to find new skills, to develop new skills, to find opportunities, and to connect, especially connect with other people. And there is a good friend of mine who says always, connection before content. And that's what we do. We work with the connection before the content.
I wrote that down. I was going through your Instagram and I was looking at the training that you do for teachers, and I was like, connection before content. I thought those are wise words. So I'm sorry to interrupt, but go ahead.
Yeah. And that's what we do right now. We work with this, and we support schools, universities, families, communities. We, for about 10 years, were mostly based with social responsibility programs. So what happened is big companies paid for us to bring kids to camp, their own kids, their employees' kids, and the communities surrounding them, or any other kid who wanted to come to camp. So we were able to do this for free, which was amazing for the families and for the kids for about 10 years until the crisis hit. And we were able to take them on trips, study tours, bring them to the jungle, bring them into amazing places to study animals, to take photographs, to develop community building. So that's the basis of Iguanas. and we still do it. We still support this. We were able to go to China in 2016 and start supporting another organization in China that is called My Growth, or MG Camp, MG from My Growth. And MG Camp was pretty similar to Iguanas because we provided the basis for it. And the great thing is because in China, you still have kids who are only childs of only, or parents who are only childs and grandsons and granddaughters of only childs. So there are no uncles, no cousins, and having this camp environment was amazing for them. It's still amazing for them because they get to connect in a way they haven't before. Whereas in the US and Latin America, we got these huge families, and we are used to connect with the extended family. But this is not the same in China. So it was amazing to bring this opportunity there and listen to the parents and see the kids' faces and having them come back next year and say, oh, you know, I learned this and that, and I have these new opportunities communicating with my friends and having this and that. So that's, we keep getting fuel by these opportunities. So
No, it's interesting things you don't even think about, you know, challenges or needs in other countries like China, where you have these single children, and, you know, here in the States, you're like, oh, we want to get our kids into preschool so they can socialize and they can do this, even though they have siblings at home. But you have, wow, there is a need there. So that's, you really are providing an important service there. You know, because you see on, you know, maybe the stereotype is the education system in China seems to be so regimented, that then to be able to have this time where they can make those connections and develop those relationships between the campers. So that's just, you don't even think about that.
Actually, you hit a button, because some of the kids, they say, oh, I love it here, but next week I have to go to math camp, or I have to go to computer camp. But I'm coming back in 2 weeks, so no worries. And they came back, and it was amazing because the parents say, oh, she loved it, he loved it, he learned this and that. And he went to computer camp, and then he was amazing in computer camp. He got connected. He wanted to go out. He wanted to play under the sun. He sat on the floor, whereas before he didn't want to sit on the floor. So this kind of stuff that happens at camp is pretty much what we were able to deliver in China. So we really loved that experience. It was running fantastic until the pandemic hit. But we're gonna get back in some time there. So it was amazing. And it's been amazing coming from the pandemic. Also here in Venezuela, we love having the kids at camp and enjoying and connecting, especially the younger kids who they were in you know, isolated at home using a face mask for so long, that being at camp in 2021 and 2022 has been an amazing experience for them.
Thank God. Right? Oh my gosh. So tell me now about your programs. So I'm going to ask a stupid question. You are in what season right now in Venezuela? We are in fall, heading into winter. So what are you?
We have one season. No, just kidding.
Right.
We have two.
I mean, I'm in Florida. I'm in Florida, so we do too.
No, we have rainy and dry. But in the end, it's pretty much the same here because we're very close to the Amazon and to the Ecuador and equator. And we are very, you know, especially in the city where we are right now, it's very humid. It's year round, pretty much the same weather. So we get to run camps every year, every day of the year, with schools, as I was saying, with families. This weekend, we had a camp with the family. It's what we call the birthday camp. So they come for a birthday party, but they spend the whole day or the whole weekend with us at camp. And we do camp activities. So it's amazing. Usually small groups, 20, 25, but we really love it because this is still a camp and the kids get to connect and they get to go to the zip line, you know, go to play some Nerf, football, they play icebreakers, you know, we do rallies and it's pretty much a camp environment.
Do you have your own facility? What's your facility like?
We do have a facility. We rent it, but is our home base. But we also go to other camps and we rent other spaces based on the needs of the groups. So if a school asks us, I would like to see this and that, we rent out a place and we offer them, like, we have this and that, we have these different choices.
So
So
you'll
our facility,
create like, go ahead.
Yep.
No, I was going to say, so then you create like a custom program for, like you said, based on the needs, whatever the school, the corporate company wants, you'll create a custom program.
every program is customized to our clients or consumers' needs, especially the age of kids and their interest. So in our facility, in our base, we have most sports. It's like a sporty camp, but it's not all sports because it's not a sports camp. It's
Right.
a social emotional learning camp. It's where you go out and discover opportunities, and where you discover your own skills or develop these skills. So we have like 60 different activities, and we adapt these activities to everything that we do. It's an amazing place. It's a great place to because it's kind of green in the middle of the city, the largest city in Venezuela, 7-8 million people, and we are in the heart of the city. So parents just drop their kids. It's like an urban camp, and they leave. We do some. We don't have that many hikes because it's a small place. It's 6
Right.
hectares, but we do have football, baseball, paintball, Nerf. We have climbing, zip line. We have bumper balls, archery, so water rockets. So we have a lot of activities, crafts as well. We are very close. So parents coming back from the pandemic, they were not, scared or scared or anything like that. We do mostly day camps, but we also do overnight camps. We camp. If we are gonna do overnight camps, we camp there. So we have the tents and we have the sleeping bags, all this stuff, and it's great for them. And the parents feel safe because we're very, very close to this. Well, we are in the city. We're not very close to the city, in the city.
I love that an urban camp. Most of the people that I, interview, it's either like a residential, so it's, out in the woods or the big open fields, but to be able to provide that service even to the parents. And I know you've really, on your Instagram and the way you market your programs is it's like, we're all outside, 100% screen free, and it just, you're really giving them looks like so much fun. So what's a typical day like at Iguanas Camp, at a day camp, if you were coming on school break and you're being dropped off? What's the day like?
Well, it usually begins early at 8 a.m. There are some parents, because they work far away, they come at 7. We don't charge anything extra for that, but we're ready at 7 o'clock in the morning. Parents start dropping off their kids between 6 and 16 years old. And we are very popular with teenagers, which is usually not so. Usually teenagers, they don't really like these kind of camps, but because we work with them and we really know how to talk to teenagers and empower them, they really love coming. In Halloween, we had like 20 teenagers. It was amazing. So they drop them at 7:30, 8. Then we have, small games and activities while they're dropping off. And then we head down to the dining room and we have breakfast, which is something interesting because most day camps, they don't have breakfast here in Caracas. But because we have breakfast, the kids can wake from the bed, put a shirt on, brush their teeth, and they can just drop them off with us. So,
And what just interrupt real quick is that part of those connections, at least at camp, is that eating meals together, right? When I'm at camp, I eat 150 meals with the same 5 people. And it's that just act of like breaking bread is bonding. So to be able to provide that at breakfast and start that bonding is just incredible. So, okay, after breakfast, what do you do now?
Definitely having meals is the most important thing. Is the big difference from school.
Right.
And I think that's amazing. And then, we do serve family style. So everybody gets to sit around the table and they go eating, and they eat like a family. We have groups of 8 to 10 kids with 1 or 2 counselors. It depends on the age. And then we begin with the program. Usually the morning has, the more adventurous activities, like climbing, like hiking, camping, baseball, etc. And then usually at midday we have water games because it's sometimes too hot here. So we have some water games so we can refresh. And then we head down to the dining room again to have lunch. Lunch usually have free activity during lunch, which is like it may be a play or it may be an interactive activity or a game or a challenge. So we usually have 5 to 10 minutes activity before lunch. So some of the kids are waiting for that activity every day. And then we, after lunch, we have the Iguanas hour, which is, don't tell anyone, it's just half an hour, maybe 20 minutes. But it's the Iguanas hour where they are out to go free in the camp, of course, under supervision, but they can do whatever they want. So they can ask for a ball, they can ask for a frisbee, they can go, we have a pyramid, which is made of pipes. So it's amazing because they can climb up. So they can go to the pyramid and climb. So it's their free time, you know, like in school. And at 2 to 30, we get back to the activities. We may have some elective activities in the afternoon or general games. Elective are a little longer, let's say an hour and a half, 2 hours. And they get to go to the carpentry or they get to go to arts and craft. They can go to golf. So they have like, you know, an activity that is longer. It's like a workshop and they get to learn a little bit more. And they ask for this activity. So what we do, our coordinators or program director, she asks like, okay, let's see, what do you want to do? This is the list of activities. You have like 10 activities. Which ones you want for the afternoon? So she picks up the 5 or 6 more popular, and these are the ones that we open for the afternoon. We know this information previously for 1 or 2 days before. And then they go to these activities, and usually we finish the afternoon with a general game. These general games can be anything like capture the flag, or it can be paintball, or it can be wet dragons, you know, large activities. And then we have some snack, usually sweet. And then the parents pick them up at 5:30, 6 p.m. That's a day camp, okay? If we are sleeping, it's pretty much the same, but in the afternoon, we have some activities that last till 6, 7. Then we take a shower, we eat dinner, and then we have night activities, which are amazing as well. And if we're camping, we set up tents, you know, we cook, the kids cook, and we have the, you know, the night experience. It can be the bonfire, or it can be watching the stars. We do some games, some, you know,
Mucho s'mores, mucho s'mores.
Muchos s'mores sometimes, because, you know, s'mores, they can be a little heavy on the belly.
Yes.
So we
Is there a favorite activity where the kids that are coming back, you know, time after time that they look forward to the most? What's the
pretty much
fate?
the same one all around the world, Gaggable.
Yeah, okay,
They
gotta
love
ball.
Gaggable. But we also have, you know, we have dodgeball with mud.
Okay.
So mud dodgeball is also very popular.
Well, I'll have to look that up. I don't know that
Oh,
one.
no, they love it. They love
Okay.
it. It's ridiculous. Paintball and Nerf are very popular. Bumper balls is very popular. Archery this year was very popular. But we change activities every year. There is not always all the activities are open. And we also have theme activities or theme weeks. So our 8 weeks during the summer are themed. So this year we had Olympics, we had Wild West. The Wild West was amazing. We had Extreme Week, which is all extreme sports. So they come, we have mystery. This year we had the Mystery Week, which was very popular. All the spots were filled and the kids choose, like, I want to go to the mystery. I want to know what's going to happen. It was interesting.
How many kids can you serve at one time?
We usually serve up to 120 in this facility. We don't like to, we can serve 500, but we don't want to go there. We are a small camp and we want to be able to supervise the kids. We can run 2 or 3 programs at the same time, but not over 120. Okay, so that's our top number. We used to run like 500, 600, but we decided that's not where we want to go. That's not the kind of camp we want to be.
Is there a favorite meal, favorite lunch?
You know, well, all of our food is very popular.
Okay.
They love it. Our cook she's amazing. and they really like nuggets,
Right.
and their French fries. But we have a lot of different things.
Do you throw
And
in a lot of like more like Venezuelan ethnic foods? I know my husband's Puerto
both.
Rican, and I feel like they cook a lot of Puerto Rican food. So do you eat a lot? What would be a popular Venezuelan dish that we might
Uh,
not know
well, we have pabellon, which is our national dish.
about? Okay.
It has white rice, black beans. It has shredded meat, and it have fried plantains. Uh,
Mm.
so it's an amazing meal. They love that. They love arroz con pollo, which is rice with chicken, but spicy and with some flavor. It's amazing. We also do a lot of meatballs. Not a spaghetti and meatballs. We can have spaghetti and meatballs, but meatballs with fried plantains, white rice. So these are kind of typical foods in Venezuela. We also have hamburgers, hot dogs,
Right, right.
pizza.
They're
Um,
kids. They're
we mix,
kids.
yeah, and it's their vacations, so
Right.
we have to be, um, we have to pamper them. Pamper, is that the right word? I'm not sure.
Pamper, we don't, maybe not pamper, but we want to be cognizant of what they want. We're there to give them a good time, right? It's for
Yeah.
we go to camp and we work at camp for the kids. It's for myself too, but really it's for the kids. So yeah, you can't have arroz con pollo every day, right? They want pizza and
No.
nuggets and
Yeah, and they love having this home meal cooked, but sometimes they want something different. So yeah, we just comply, and we are happy. We don't provide any sodas. We don't give them. We give them some candy, but limited amounts. We provide fruits every morning. They love fruits, so we have like two different things. Like we have oranges and mandarins, and we have bananas. These kind of fruits you can eat whole, apples and stuff. And we also have fruits that you need to cut, like papaya and pineapples and stuff. So we change every day, so they get to have different things every 2 days.
So what's the future for Iguanas Educación al Aire Libre? What's
Well,
the
we, we are
future?
we, we are in talks with Elon Musk about setting up a camp in Mars. No, just kidding. We are where we're expanding this year. We want to have two facilities at the same time, as we used to have like three at the same time. We're going back to long overnight camps this year, which is not new. It's something that we already did. But we're just going back after the pandemic because the parents were a little concerned. We are working with the study tours, and we want to go back to those times when we send kids overseas. So perhaps to Cambridge, or to Cambridge mean in the US, in the Boston area, or go to Silicon Valley, bring some kids there, see the technology, but also being outdoors. That's part of the plans for the future. We're trying to connect opportunities for teenagers and what's happening after school. We also, we're trying to set up different facilities or locations in the country. So maybe in a year's time or 2 years, we're going to be 3 or 4 camps at the same time, but it's still small camps, 100 and 120 kids.
Right. Really be able to give them that personal hands-on,
Yes.
It becomes a big animal, a bigger thing to manage. So Simon, I just want to thank you so much for joining me today. It was wonderful to hear your story, learn about Iguanas Educación al Aire Libre, also known as Iguanas Camp and Iguanas Outdoor Education. And one of the things I wanted to mention before we close it is that I really love what you guys are doing in terms of like teacher training. My background's in education. So, you mentioned that connection before content, but I was looking back on your Instagram and the workshops that you're doing with the teachers and just supporting education in Venezuela. I know you guys have political challenges as well as economic challenges over the last decade. So education is so important and so key. So I think that, and you said your wife is a teacher, correct?
Yes, she's a teacher. She's our program director. So she runs most of the activities, and she has, these great ideas. And I forgot a couple of things. One thing
Yeah, tell
is
me.
we have in 2023, we have the International Camping Congress in Tarragona, close to Barcelona in Spain. So I would love to invite everyone who wants to join us there. We usually have 20, 30 American camps. We have 20, 30 Canadian camps. We have like 100 Russian camps. About 100 Chinese camps. So we get camps from all over in the world, Africa, South America, Central America. We get Australia, of course, Thailand. We got camps from Mongolia as well coming. So it will be great to have a lot of people, a lot of international flavor in 2023 in October. In the International Camping Congress is going to be the 11th International Camping Congress. So we hope it's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. We haven't seen each other since 2017 because of the pandemic. And that's part of the future as well. We're part of the ICF, the International Camping Fellowship. There are about 4,000 members in the ICF. There are about 100,000 camps around the world. So we are 96,000 camps short of having everyone join us. But it's interesting how you get camps from all over the world. Chile, Uruguay, Mexico. As I was saying, Africa, we had camps from different countries in Africa, which is amazing because Uganda, for example, is one of our members. So we get to know what's happening there. And also all Southeast Asia, and of course, Europe. So we get to understand a little bit of what everybody's doing all around the world.
Wow, everybody's needs, children's needs across the world are so different, but yet all for the same goal, right? You're meeting these different needs, all to create that connection, all to create those relationships and provide these kids with, it's the same goal. You just have different means to get there because of the needs of the kids. So Simon, thank you so much for joining us today. It was such a pleasure learning more about Iguanas Camp, and I might have to look into coming down during a season and teaching some
Please do.
English. Mi esposo es puertorriqueño, so yo hablo un poquito español. So I grew up in Miami too.
Sounds fantastic. Te entendí perfectamente.
Muchas gracias, mi amigo nuevo. All right, guys. Also, thank you for joining us on My Camp. We are really excited to announce that on the Happy Camper Live website, we now have a section called Happy Camper Vivo. And the goal of Happy Camper Vivo is to help or teach English to Spanish speakers through an online summer camp experience. So check out Happy Camper Vivo, which is now live on the Happy Camper Live website. And if you want to hear more podcasts and listen to more about My Camp, Your Camp, all our camps, you can listen to our podcast where you listen to your podcasts on our YouTube channel, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. So check them out. Check us out. We have one full season under our belts. And I hope you join us again at My Camp. I'll save us more for you.
Take a moment to shine.